The Descarga predates the b-boy breakdowns, the break beats. It predates this. Amazing, amazing. The Latin percussions. I mean, when you listen to b-boy music and you hear the Latin percussions going off, that inspiration it comes from the descarga, which actually means, somebody letting go, somebody letting loose. That's what the term descarga means. And so the foundation of the b-boy breaks come from African and Latin percussions and influence. What is salsa? So you can see the what happened with the African diaspora when the Africans moved and they went to Haiti, when they went to Cuba, when they went to Puerto Rico, when they went to the Dominican Republic, they took the Africanism with them. They took the drums with them. It was not the same when it came to slavery in America. Slaves in America were not allowed to retain. It was the Caribbean. It was those countries that retained the African influence, and then you can hear that all of it. Really, the country that had the most was Cuba. So there you have it. It's known as the descarga, and that is the foundation. That is the go off. That is the get loose. That is the be free. It comes from that foundation. It comes from Africa. It comes from the Caribbean countries. It does not come from America. It comes from us.
Well, just about everything he said is a lie. What's up, everybody? Welcome back. I just wanted to finish up with this Descarga thing because it's been bugging me, because it's hard to listen to my friend Dr. Cologne and hear him just misrepresent the truth, doing everything possible to supplant Puerto Ricans at the center of hip hop. So he's pulling out all kind of stops. Now, this Descarga thing is a new one. Now, I kind of wonder that why would he choose that word? And I think he chose that word because it's an old word developed in the 1950s, as far as I understand. And so if he could use a word that has some history and then make it apply to hip hop, then he could say that that was a precursor, or it helped influence break dancing, or not break dancing, but b-boy music. Now, like I said in my previous videos, black entertainers, black musicians did not need percussions necessarily. It's an add-on. I mean, if I was putting together a band, the main pieces I would look for is a piano, drums, bass, and guitar. If I had the extra money, maybe I would get a percussionist, but I think I would get a sax player first. So for American music, it's on the back burner. Percussionist. It's not something that we look forward to. And like I said, for Afro-Cuban music, salsa music, percussionists, you must have them in your group. It's a necessity. So he used the word descarga, and he gave it these meanings that if you look, online, you will never find those words associated with that particular definition. So let me go back here. Went too far. That's not where I want to go. That's from another video. Let's do this. Okay, now let's look at the word descarga. Now I went to 3 websites: Wikipedia, Discog.com, and salsaforums.com. Discogs.com and Wikipedia pretty much gave the same definition, which is an improvised jam session consisting of variation of Cuban music themes, primarily son montuno, but also, and it just lists the others. Then it says the genre is strongly influenced by jazz, and it was developed in Havana during the 1950s. Like I said, Discog.com says the same thing. Salsa Forums, it says it the same way, but a little different. It says, in a musical context of salsa and Afro-Cuban popular music, the term descarga is equivalent of a jam session. No charts, no rehearsal songs. Basically, everyone involved showcasing their chops and being complimentary to one another simultaneously and regardless of what is being played. So it's basically guys having fun showing off their skills on their instrument. The only difference between jazz, what we would just basically call a jam session, and Latin music, they call it descarga. That's the real meaning of the word. So I don't even understand why he chose that word. Only, in my opinion, maybe to give it some historic benefit, but he's misappropriating the word. Has nothing to do with break beats or hip hop or nothing. And I already, like I said, I did 2 videos disproving his allegation or his position that enslaved Africans in America did not lose touch with their African ancestry or African traditions. I proved that. So my question to him would be, will you make a video and say, hey, I misspoke. I didn't know that history. So I'll retract what I said initially. Hey, I'm not going to hold my breath. Knowing Dr. Cologne the way I know him, I had him figured out a long time ago, and I made a video indicating that I think he had too much pride. And so I don't ever expect him to acknowledge that he made a mistake. Just like he never apologized for, saying that I threatened his family. When people have so much pride, you just can't expect them to do the right thing. But I'm okay. Dr. Clone, I forgive you. I forgive you. I mean, it is what it is. But what I will do, what I will continue to do, is basically point out the misinformation that he continues to put out, misleading his viewers, all in an effort to supplant Puerto Ricans at the center of hip hop culture. And it's not going to work. No matter what tactics you use, it's not going to work. So I remember not too long ago, he made a video where he went out of his way to point out, hey, I misspoke on the Sylvia Robinson thing with Tito Puente. And so I owned up to it. Hey, it was a theory. I was wrong about my theory. But it's funny, I know for a fact, I may never hear him say that he was wrong about anything. So it is what it is. But what I will say, in his effort to expose me, he, in a way, inadvertently, he exposed himself. And let me tell you why I think that. Because most of my videos, he never offered a rebuttal to them. So I can only wonder whether or not he had anything to offer. So that basically substantiates my position, because when I was wrong, he was quick to make a video to prove it. And today, still today, Dr. Cologne, hey, if you have information to rebut anything I say, I welcome. Listen, it's okay to not always be right. A proud individual, is caught up in being right all the time. Sometimes making mistakes, you grow from it. You know what I'm saying? So, I'm not afraid to make a mistake. If I feel strongly about something, I'm going to put it out there. If I'm wrong, hey, I'll correct myself. But I feel like that gives me more credibility than you. Because when things are pointed to you that prove your point is wrong, you will never acknowledge it. So you lose credibility. Only your followers believe in your mess, but not me. So let me see. Let's do this. So like I said, we're talking about the Descarga lie. He's misappropriating the word, and it makes no sense. Now, let me tell you why. And like I said, I really don't even have to go into why I disagree, because I did 2 videos showing that Latinos probably had nothing to do with percussions in African American music, because we were doing our thing as well. So I put that to rest. He could believe what he wants to believe. I really don't care. But I'm going to put out the truth as I see it. Now, let me give you an example. Let me see. Give me 1 second. I'm going to play a couple of videos. Okay. Now you remember Cologne said that the Descarga was the thing that influenced our music, or influenced hip hop, was basically the beginning. Now, here's a video from the Sugar Hill Gang podcast, and Tito Puente Jr. was on it. And he used this video to kind of debunk me, but that's okay. But he didn't play all of it. So now he was trying to say that it was Latin influences earlier on, right? So when Tito Puente played on the Sugar Hill Gang's album in 1980, Tito Puente Jr. acknowledged, and so did Master G, acknowledged that this was the first time a Latin artist played on a hip hop record, right? This was the first time. Before then, clearly there wasn't no evidence of it. So let me play what Tito Puente Jr. has said about this whole thing.
Right there. Mm-hmm. So Sylvia was at the studio with you and the group, and yes. Joe drove Dad there, and he says, all right, I'm going to do a favor for Morris Levy, and Sylvia wants me to go play on this record with this new group, hip-hop group. My father didn't know you guys, and you, in return, didn't know him. So it was a clash, almost not a clash, but a meeting of two genres at that moment, mambo music and hip-hop music. And it was the first time in history that ever happened. So Tito Puente was one of the first pioneers of playing on a hip-hop record ever. I think it was probably before Curtis Blow had Jimmy Delgado play on the breaks. He played the song on the breaks. There was a T-Bale solo there. You guys were first.
Period. Your dad, like you said.
There you go. So this was the first time. So when Dr. Cologne talks about, this happened earlier in the 70s or whatever, this Descarga happened. Come on. He's full of it, man. Come on, man. Here you have Tito Puente and Master G acknowledging that the first time this ever happened was in 1980. So let's be clear about that. Now, let me give you an example of, like I said, this is going to be a very short video. I just want to basically give you guys an example of what, let me see, let's go here 1 second. Okay, let me wind this back. Now, let me go here. Now, here's a video of two great jazz, or I should say two jazz greats, Charlie Parker and Dizzy Gillespie. And so this is an example of what we call Descarga, but in a American jazz sense, okay? Basically, it's an improvised session. So let me give you an idea of what, for those who are not familiar with jazz and how things are done normally in jazz, I'm going to walk you through it real quick. And I'm going to move the cursor because I don't want to spend too much time on these videos due to copyright issues. So let me see if I can get it started. And so basically what's happening is that they play a song in the way that it's written, more or less. And then after a while, then one musician takes a hold of it, and then it starts to be creative, start improvising, start soloing, doing his own thing. After he finishes, then the other artist takes over, and then it just goes down the line until just about everyone in the group or in the jam session has done their own solo or done their own version of Descarga. Okay, so let me give you an example of that real quick. Let me move it before they start singing or playing. Let's do this right. Okay, let's start here. Now this is the meat of the song. Okay, now he's improvising right here. This is Descarga right here. Going off, as Dr. Cologne would say. The get down, as Dr. Cologne would say. Now I'm gonna move it a little further, and then he's gonna pass the torch to Dizzy Gillespie. Now Dizzy doing his thing. Now this is his version of Descarga. Now I'm gonna move it a little further, and then he's gonna pass the torch onto the piano man. Now the piano man, this is his version of Descarga. So you guys, you get the idea what Descarga is, right? I'm just using that word in this particular sense to just show you, remember the definition, it came from jazz. So the whole concept and idea comes from jazz. So let me give you an example of a salsa band doing a form of Descarga. Okay. So this is the meat of the composition right here. Now this is her version of Descarga. She's soloing right here. Now she's getting ready to pass the torch on to the other. Not yet. She ain't do it yet. So she's still doing her thing. Now she getting ready to set up the other guy. Now she's setting up the bass man right here. Now he passed it off to the guitar guy. Now he's doing his form of Descarga. Now watch. Okay, you guys get the idea? So I don't know where Cologne comes up with these words and try to manipulate the meanings to, or the definition to try to suggest it means something else. I don't understand it. I mean, it appears that he's very desperate to include Puerto Ricans in any way he can do, any way he can, figure out. That's what he's trying to do. So, like I said, this doesn't have to be long. I just want to put that out. So again, if you think this information is valuable, you find it informative, please, if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. I have a lot on the horizon. Please definitely make sure you hit that like button. I people need to see this videos or see my videos. I think they're very informative. Definitely hit that like button and share. I really appreciate all of you have already done it. Okay, have a good day, guys. Later.